Hi friends, really good to see you again. It's been a while, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. I did one yesterday. Check in with the channel. I always do cryptocurrency. Much love to everybody. This is another cryptocurrency technical analysis video. I'm Rocky Outcrop. It's probably the best cryptocurrency technical analysis that's on YouTube. You might have heard of me. If you haven't by now, then you're going to be telling all your friends pretty soon, I imagine. So we'll be taking a look at charts in just a second. Here's my intro clips. They're pretty sexy. You can hit the like button now. It's not for my ego. It's not for my ego. I swear to goodness, just hit the like button. And YouTube needs you to do that because my demographic is not full of children who already understand this. Yourself, you know, as being a sort of fully formed adult by this stage, probably thinks he doesn't need me to tickle his ego by hitting the like button. It's not for that, mate, right? It's not for that. The kids, they don't need to be told that. Right, so here is the Bitcoin chart. We're moving on up the way. This is the 1 hour chart. We've got the 50 simple below us, giving us that little bit of support that we might be looking to have. Great, groovy, fantastic. But are we really doing anything? Similar story to yesterday. Going to need to be aware of it. There's going to be volatility in these regions. I'm looking for bounces in around about, you know, $500 bounces and with volatility that doesn't need to really explain itself at any given time. So look out for that. There is, of course, an extreme lack of strength of trend as we're going towards the top side. Look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. There's not the momentum going into this that you want to see. What we're looking at on the RSI over here, is this a whole load of momentum as we're seeing the prices go towards the top side? Is this looking really momentum-y? Is this looking really momentum-y to you as the prices are going towards the top side? Not really, is it? So not massively impressed with the chart at this point, but then again at the same time, what are we seeing? A bit of consolidation here in the run up towards, perhaps pushing up towards higher levels. Well, the range that we're seeing during this consolidation will certainly take us up to my red line. That's what we're seeing in terms of like, well, there's a range here, and if we were to push outside of this zone, it'd be going up towards there. Yes, yeah, right. But the thing about this is that we're not doing it with any momentum, okay? So what does that really boil down to? Well, what it means is that you need to look at your previous lows, right? Because the lack of, you know, the hot air balloon's got a wee hole in it and there's no fuel left in the tank currently, and we're kind of hoping that some convection current will take us up towards the next region. But, you know, who knows? We might actually just hit a pocket of lower density and, of course, then find ourselves poking towards the downside. Now, not all of these are balloon flying people, but these are attempting to be traders. So if you don't really understand the implications of looking at the previous lows during the market movement up the way with a lack of momentum towards the top side, and you think that my balloon analogy is somewhat like unintelligible, well then, you know, really focus on your technical analysis, because that's freaking obvious what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so that's what we're looking to, and it's a big thing at the minute in this region. How could this be described? Could it be described as being a diamond? Sure could be. You take the range running up to it and you can shove it on the top and the below. You could do all those sorts of things. What we're looking at here is a simple question of market structure and being able to break past key levels. Now, what am I going to do in order to kind of make this proposition to you in the meantime with regards to looking out for pullbacks? Is it going to be anything particularly daunting or scary or massive? No, it's not. And you can see that there's a massive range for you to be able to manage your risk at. You've got the 236 coming in here. Where's that coming in at? Right at where we had our last low at. What's our last low? A bit of flux along the way. Is that really good enough? No, not necessarily. If we go down towards the 236, the chances of us pushing down towards 36,666, that number that we talked about where our previous low are, really high. Where's that compared to now? That's 10% down. If you were trading with 10x leverage, you'd obviously be liquidated if you were to be going long at this point with that potential risk up there. So, you know, obviously there's better buy entries at the minute than where we are. Now, if we do actually push on up the way, then I'm looking towards things like, have we got up past that zone there? The fact of the matter is that we're actually in this liquidity zone right here, right now from before, and we're below our previous highs. You could look towards the 42,000 area and say that that's enough for you to get confirmation, but we're actually just below our previous highs overall at the minute. And people have been asking me quite a lot recently, how would you know about bull traps and bear traps? Well, if there's going to be a bull trap in here right now, then these are the conditions that you would see in advance of one because of the hole that's in the fucking hot air balloon, right? There we go. I could talk about things in a million different ways, but I've tried that in the past and it's had very low efficacy rates in terms of whether or not you're going to share it. Question for you, are you going to share this video with your friends out there? A friend of yours is a friend of mine. I'd really appreciate it if you did. It would help the channel grow. Cryptocurrency is a massive thing. It's pure technical analysis. I do technical analysis on it all the time, and I actually really pretty good at it for the most part. Looking here at the weakness as well that we're seeing on Ethereum as we're pushing up the way, you know, is this ideal situation to have while there's obviously going to be bearish divergence down here in the MACD. That's a question for you. There's this signal coming up on the DMI. You'll think in a couple of weeks' time, what was Rocky talking about with that signal on the DMI when it flashed white in the background? And you'll probably be wanting to watch this live episode where this video has been filmed as a part of, where I spend 5 minutes or more explaining exactly what that signal is, and then come back and apply that to this chart yourself. A little bit of homework for you, but I tell you what, if you make money out of it, which you probably will, I'm not a financial advisor unless financial advice, then you'll not be you'll be thanking me for having given you that little homework challenge. The 236 here on Chainlink at 1837, with the result of the more recent lows down here, is giving us that little bit of breathing room above it while we're kind of consolidating in that region. We obviously had a bit of bearish divergence just here, but I think that's fair enough in a sense at this point for me personally. I'm looking at the $18 price point as being my own particular pivot for this one, with an absolute view towards $22 as being my next target up the way. Yeah, okay, so $22, that's my next target, but we might not get there. Why might we not get there? Well, we might easily just fail at the price of our previous high over here. You know, that could easily happen. And that's in at $21 as well. So I'm just looking out for that. But I know that the minute there's more than, there's 20% movement towards the top side absolutely available from where we are now. If you were to push up the way for that full thing, I'm not going to say that it's greedy or FOMO or lack of ambition to only take a 10% movement on the prices on any particular move, on any particular trade that you're doing, and that's where we're looking to on this one. I mean, and that's obviously just giving us the potential to have a setup where we end the downward trend. Let's put this on the 2-day time frame just real quick, so you can see that you've got highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? And we're right below the 200 simple moving average on the daily time frame. That's a year's worth of average price action at this point. 2 days, 200, 400 days, 400 days worth of averages, and we're below that at the minute. So that's not an ideal place for Chainlink to be. How often does it come down here? Well, the last time was March 2020. Yes, that's right. The context of where we are right now in terms of the moving averages on this thing are the same as where they were back then. You don't need me to explain to you what was going on back then. Just go and check out my videos on my channel if you want to know as well, in fact, tell you what. Right, and then Tezos. I love the friendly Tezos community. A quick shout out to people like Ross, for example, who are Tezos community, lovely guy, long-time supporter of the channel. Shout out to you, mate. Always appreciated. Where are we right now on this one? Well, we're below our previous high. Okay, same sort of chat, same sort of thing. I know that the numbers are radically different from Chainlink, and they often are. We're just below the 236 currently as it stands. We're struggling in it around about that zone. It's the 290s price point. 287 is an easy number. If you've been watching these charts over the last wee while, you'll know yourself that 287, 281, and $3.04 or something are the kind of like where we're looking at in terms of this one right now. Now, if we do push on down the way, it gets scary kind of fast, right? Scary fast. So what you're doing in terms of trading this one at the minute is managing risk so tightly, because otherwise, there's not much point. You don't want to live through this. It's a couple of days of looking at your account just go down away before you see like maybe things can go up, and of course by that stage you've got no dry powder. I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice, but that would be what you're looking to. And of course then you're not really confident until you get above this line in here at 335. This is a 2-day time frame. Again, a whole year's worth of price action with that 200 period simple moving average. 200 on the 2-day, 4 days, 365 days in a year. That's 14 months of price action there for you. 13 and a bit, 13 months, 30, whatever, right? You get it. We've covered that. This is the price, 335. The lack of bullish convergence on the MACD and the RSI, bearish convergence, the lack of bearish convergence on the MACD and the RSI, etc. down below, very compelling in terms of the ability for us to actually have a stab at this here. But this is obviously patently being an area where people are taking profit at, because the story right now is shy of your previous high. Okay, it has been. I mean, the amount of money that you could have made trading cryptocurrencies and stuff by watching along to the channel and simply paying attention to one thing that I've said recently, which is that your prices are going to go to the 886 Fibonacci retracement versus their previous high, and then continue to get continuation towards the downside, most likely. Would it been useful? Probably. Well, we're now at a stage where maybe we can start to turn that around. Right. Again, I want to see decent likes on this video, right? I want to see decent likes on this video. I want to see decent watch time on this video. I get too little watch time, and that the quality of this is too high to be given away for free. No resentment, nothing else. I want to see this. I want to see it. Introduce me to your friends. Something. Because I start something, right? Something.